Usually what they do in the industry is go right into the transplant. And I've seen a number of clients
whose transplants have failed. Yes.
And I usually try and walk them through the process of inflammation. And you see, an inflammation doesn't really condone growth.
So, of course not.
Yes. So if you go and you're advised to do a transplant and you know your scalp is not healthy, you'd rather save that money.
Hey, welcome back to my channel and another conversation with an amazing woman. It's Martha. She's a trichologist, but she says "Munamjua kama cash." You know, this would be guys from where? Where did you grow up?
Buru.
From Buru, so you know you as Cash.
Yes.
So you can't be angalia Cash na jiringa mekana Caroline Mutoka na jita Martha.
I know. Like, who's that?
Who's that?
Yes.
But you know, when we were chatting earlier, I said one of the things that I find annoying, but I also realize, you know, people need to come to the table with it, is that, you know, every time I'm asked to speak at a career day, it's regurgitating the same old. And I'm not saying there isn't space for that. The world will always need lawyers and and media. It's that nobody wants to talk about what it will look like when a person in Form 4 today leaves college. What will the market look like? What is evolving? And I'm a big believer that non-conventional medicine is going to exponentially grow the world over, and in the Western market it is huge. I hear you cannot meet a Korean who hasn't had some plastic surgery. I hear it's the double lid, the nose, the what, most of them,
the brows.
I mean, so I was watching this documentary on them. Also in the Middle East, the Iranians and the Iraqis, because of the size of their noses. So you know this. I mean, so, you know, when you look at it, apparently it is normal.
It's very normal.
Very normal.
And I think what Kenyans think already, or rather what we think locally, is cosmetic is not something important. And what people think is, if you study this, then where are you going to get the market? But the market is already here.
It is already here.
Yes, the market is here. Now what they need is competitors. Because you see, we have a handful of the cosmetologists or the cosmetic surgeons. Then you reduce the amount of competition, as you mentioned. And then no one gets to compete with the other because we are just 5 of us.
Let me say this properly. And the reason I keep saying it is important we talk to young people about the opportunities in the future. Is that I still believe that medicine in the non-communicable diseases area is going to be big. Aesthetic medicine is going to be large if it isn't already. What I am not okay with is that, like any industry, the first few players act like this is mine. And I want to tell the rest of you this. Competition is good, and competition is good for me and you. Let them have to up their game, including you, on what you offer, how good your skills are, and what you charge.
The results will speak then.
Will speak. But I'm excited that there's you. And then, you know, it's the same thing with a few, you know, they're called cosmetic dermatologists. You know, you get this nonsense of don't go to so-and-so, don't do that. I'm not that, sorry. I'm the person who will compare you all and decide you're great at facials, you're good at this, you're good at that.
Don't go to just one person because then he told you not to go to them.
And then of course they create a cult around them of, oh, I'm the only one, please.
I'm the best.
But always remember, the more players they are, so long as, once again, just like medicine, is properly regulated, the better. The better.
That's true.
It raises the bar for everybody else, and it means you and I get the best of the best. But let's now talk about alopecia self-inflicted hair loss. She's a trichologist. So we've talked about the men.
Alopecia.
This one of tumefanya facelift. And by the way, the facelift is not just done at Kenyatta Market, it's done in other places. So what can you do about that?
Well, for ladies, and as I mentioned, I've done a transplant.
Where?
On the sides.
Really?
Yes.
How long ago?
It's about a year and a half now.
Looks amazing.
It was, let's say, very thin, because you see, when we get plated and regularly, like we do back in college and even after, you get some sort of thinning at the sides.
Over here.
So I had to, I don't want to say test my own services, then sell them, but then again, you can't sell me something and I see you already have
and your hairline is
please. So I wouldn't be selling you a service and then be having issues. So I did a transplant.
Okay.
A year and a half back. And so what we do is we take hair from the back part,
Once
as we
again,
mentioned, yes, and then we transplant on the hairline, because the science is the same.
Okay.
You might not have thinning right now, but then later in the future, you might have the thinning.
Yeah, and for women, as we get older.
Yes. So we don't take the chance of taking hair anywhere else. The men have the option of taking beard hair to the scalp.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
You can actually take any sort of hair to the scalp.
Okay, you should have seen the way she rolled her eyes there, so I'm going to leave that.
Yes, so, but we prefer the best kind of hair. So it's the beard and the back hair. So then we transplant that hair to the front using specified machines. And then under certain conditions for the next 1 month, we give you conditions on how to take care of your hair.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I noticed that consistently you talk about your hair. So it has to be your hair.
It has to be your hair.
It has to be yours.
Has to be, because then it would be like a kidney transplant. You would be having rejection. Yes, and then you would need to have anti-rejection medication, which is really tough on your body.
Yes, it is.
And it's not that important, really.
Okay, it isn't, by the way.
You don't need to die for it.
It's aesthetic. It's aesthetic.
Yes,
it really is.
aesthetic.
And you can wear a wig.
Yes.
Yes.
So then we need to use your hair for it to be successful, then a smooth run after.
What are the things you wish both men and women knew about this science? Because, you know, when that day standing in that Super Cosmetics on Martha, I was like, I'm interviewing her. I'm interviewing her. I'm interviewing her.
Yeah.
Just because I feel sometimes people are staring at a problem.
Yeah.
It's there. They wish they had an answer, and they don't know.
Yeah.
I know right now, by the way, it is not cheap.
Yeah.
But then remember, how many players?
I know.
Competition is important.
True.
Yes.
What I would want them to know is it shouldn't be as expensive as you think.
No, it shouldn't.
And I gave you my
But
rates.
it's a demand and supply issue. It's a market thing.
Yes. And I would say compared to the market, I would rate myself the best, really, because I know the work I do and I know the results. Yes. So I give the best rates because I know it's something that every woman elsewhere needs it. And if I give you at a very high price, someone who is, let's say, middle class, wouldn't be able to afford the very high rate and wouldn't be able to achieve the kind of inner beauty. Because you see, much as it's inner beauty, you need to also look beautiful.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all very well to say I'm comfortable in my skin, but one thing it is true, that when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good.
Yes.
And liking what you see reflected back at you in the mirror is very important, extremely important. Yes. And if that thing bothers you and bothers you and bothers you, you want to be able to fix it. So I always tell people, if you can get it fixed, get it fixed.
Yes.
Get it fixed.
And it's not really cheap. But then I would say it's not as expensive as you guys think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So what I usually say, the sooner you get help, the better. Because if you take time and your scalp gets damaged over a long period of time, I can't be able to fix that problem within 6 months, honestly.
No.
Because once you come, I need to take at least 4 months to get your scalp right and then do the transplant.
Wow.
Yes.
So there is preparation to the...
Because usually what they do in the industry is go right into the transplant. And I've seen a number of clients
whose transplants have failed. Yes.
And I usually try and walk them through the process of inflammation. And you see, an inflammation doesn't really condone growth.
So, of course not.
Yes. So if you go and you're advised to do a transplant and you know your scalp is not healthy, you'd rather save that money. Buy a car.
Buy a car.
Yeah.
Mumesikia. And you know she's from Buru, so now she's gone straight into Mkae Mkijua. Mkae Mkijua. So, you know, out of this conversation, obviously there'll be inquiries. However, I am hoping, and this is part of the reason I do, you know, this series of conversations on amazing women, and I'm very clear, I'm looking for outliers. It can't be same old, same old. If you're called to go and speak at a high school, at a university, please go.
Very true. And I'm really excited about being called also. I mean, because the knowledge in my head, if I don't take it out of it, like if I don't speak, because
what's the point?
I would be just sleeping at home with a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, sometimes I'm like, you want me to come and talk again about radio in a world of digital? Okay. But I can't help you. Because I am very clear that I lend myself to anything that grows us.
Yes.
And I'm not saying there will not be a need for radio presenters, but even then, I remember I used to say, you want me to talk about what? Or that thing, come and speak to our media class. I said, didn't study it.
Yeah.
Yes, ask University of Nairobi. They have the records.
Yeah, they did.
That chick was in an econ class with Professor Kwasa.
Wow.
So, you know, I hope that you will share your knowledge,
Yes.
share your passion,
true.
but also understand that from you will come another breed
Yeah.
of students right now sitting at the University of Nairobi saying, there's where we're going. And when they come along,
Yeah.
and if the university asks you, "Ebu kuja utuambie hii kitu please share your knowledge.
Yes.
In 10 years, you will have birthed another 25 trichologists.
Yes.
And you'll have brought the cost down.
Yes.
And I learned something from you today.
Yeah.
Men care about hair.
They do.
Their
A lot.
own, not even mine. I didn't know that.
Yes, they do.
I didn't know about that. Well
Most
done.
of them do. Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
And I really hope you're going to work so hard. I'm going to see you in the Business Daily's top 40 under 40 next year.
Amen. I'm working hard, day and night, I tell you.
I've told them I loved the issue we did this year. Outliers, each and every one of those
Yes,
women.
yes.
And it's what I'm looking for.
Thank you.
I like you.
Hassan.
But since you're making serious money, unless I have a hair issue, will you buy me lunch one day?
Let me say this because
Ask the farmer.
really, I was going to say if you ever need a transplant, it's catered for. However, I am a business person. We are really frugal about our money. Yeah.
So you'd rather give me a transplant?
Yeah, because then you'll work with my merchandise. Yeah, because you'll be like, yeah, I did a transplant. You see, it's good. It's yeah.
Kweli, you're from Guru. Kweli. Subscribe and please do find her.
Yes.
All the best, my dear.
Thank you, Caroline.